What's up, fight fans? Greetings from the Wrestleverse. This is T. John, and it's time to take it to the ring. All right, man. Last night was another exciting night of incredible matches and the start of the Dusty Rhodes Men's Tag Team Classic. That was a great event to watch. It was a great start. We also got to see the Diamond Mine group. All of them actually fought last night, and that's a really incredible group. So it was just an overall incredible night. So starting it off, we had LA Knight actually show up and call out Grayson Waller once again, because as you know, Grayson Waller put him out for weeks with an injury after sneaking him. So LA Knight called him out to the ring and, just to finally settle this beef and beat him, give him the beating that he deserves. And Grayson Waller shows up with a restraining order. So that's the end of that. He can't touch him. The moment that LA Knight comes within 50 feet of Grayson Waller, he's going to get arrested. It's such a punk move by Grayson Waller, but of course that's to be expected. So LA Knight actually had a backup plan and had Dexter Lumis underneath the ring. So he pops out and he gives Grayson Waller an ultimatum. Either he fights LA Knight or he has to fight Dexter Lumis. So Grayson Waller ended up choosing Lumis, and they had a really, really good fight where Lumis was beating him down. Grayson Waller, he's not to be underestimated, but, he was no match for Lumis. Lumis was giving him the work. But there's some random guy in the crowd that comes out and actually starts beating the crap out of Dexter Lumis. Of course, Dexter Lumis wasn't even expecting to fight this guy. We don't even know who he is. And, he just got jumped, and that was the end of that fight. He threw him back in the ring. Grayson Waller ended up getting the pin. So, that's all she wrote. But we need to figure out who this guy is. What does he mean for the promotion? Because this was a shock. We thought that we finally were going to be able to see Grayson Waller get the beat down that he deserved. So I just want to know who keeps saving this man. Why are they so invested in Grayson Waller? So that'll be interesting to see. But next, we had the very first match to start off the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and that was the Creed brothers going against Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. So the Creed brothers are, I want to say, the more technical ones. They're the fan favorites. People know what they bring to the table. And Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen are just brawlers. All they do is fight. That's all they want to do. And so they gave one heck of a performance, actually taking them to town for a little bit, but the momentum shifted when Julius actually slammed Brooks not Brooks, but Josh Briggs into the barricade. And mind you, that's steel that you're seeing, and that steel is bent. That's how hard he slammed him into that barricade. So then, now he's out of it. So now they can just go to work on Brooks Jensen. So Brutus then picks him up and body slams him into the canvas, and Julius follows it up with the mean, vicious clothesline to just cap it off. He's out, knocked out cold. There's no getting up from that. They were able to get the pin and, of course, the victory, and they move on. So, man, that was one heck of a match. That was one good way to, come back on the scene for the year. So we got to definitely pay attention to the Creed brothers. Next up, Dante Chen makes his return into NXT after he had a really bad injury to his knee, and he was out for months of the year. So he finally gets to return, finally healthy, going against Guru Raj. They have a pretty decent match, and it's cut short. It was super brief because Duke Hudson comes out of nowhere and beats the brakes out of all of them, wipes them out. As you can see Guru Raj is a non-factor, laying on the ground. He then slams Dante into the table. It was ridiculous. It was unwarranted. There was no reason for him to do any of that. So I really have no clue why he was even there. But The only thing that I could think of is he just wanted to make a statement, because the only thing that he kept saying was he's back. But the beating that he brought down on them was so bad that it took like 8 or 9 refs just to get him out of there. So what does this mean for Duke Hudson? You know, are we going to see him come and like start destroying everybody? Because clearly he has a bone to pick with somebody, and he just needed to get that aggression out. So that'll be another interesting thing to see. Next, we had Tony D'Angelo with a really, really disrespectful presentation that he put on for his old foe, Pete Dunne. They just put their beef to bed just because Tony D'Angelo really like crushed him last fight that they had last week. So he comes out and puts on a funeral where he just talks about, you know, how he basically decimated Pete Dunne. So he's now set his eyes on the North American Championship. And as soon as he announced that, Carmelo Hayes, of course, comes out and he told him, hey, pump your brakes, bud, because you're not ready for this. And he even promised him that if he was to even think about stepping in the ring with him, Carmelo Hayes would be the one to put him in his own casket. So those are pretty decent words. Then Cameron Grimes comes out and he tells Tony D'Angelo also, you know, get in line, man, because, you know, last week he actually told Carmelo Hayes to his face that he wants to challenge him for the title also. So, you know, Carmelo Hayes is like, you know what? You both want the title. Come take it from me, but you guys have to settle this out. Whoever wins gets to go against me. So next week, we get to see Cameron Grimes go against Tony D'Angelo. And what a way to start this match off, because Cameron Grimes actually slammed that picture of Pete Dunne that he had over the head of Tony D'Angelo. So that's going to be fun to watch. I'm pulling for Grimes, man. 22 to the moon, as he says, man. I'm a Grimes fan. Let's see what he does. There was also a kind of like commercial, like comeback story looking thing for Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. They are looking to actually pull off an incredible feat and become not only the NXT tag team champs, but they also want to become the cruiser, not the cruiser, sorry, the Dusty Rhodes women's tag team cup holders as well. So that would be really interesting if they pull it off. But Dakota Kai comes in and disrupts their interview and gives them the same kind of bad vibes and the same like ominous words that she gave MSK the past week. Nothing divides friendship more than success. So that's that's wise words, and it of course affected her personally, you know, seeing as though Dakota Kai used to be really good friends with Raquel Gonzales. They were even teammates winning the Dusty Rhodes Classic last year. Now, you know, you don't even hear them mention each other. There's some real bad blood between them now, and she's basically been left in the dust while Raquel has really shined on her own. So she's saying that, of course, she's probably really bitter toward it. But, you know, Yulisa really didn't care to hear about it, and she just plans to shut her up. That's all that she wants to do. Next, we had Kaylee Ray versus Ivy Nile. Now, Ivy Nile is super strong. You know, nobody really wants to touch her. She's undefeated, but she really doesn't have too much experience. It's just nobody really wants to face her because she is an intimidating opponent to face. So Ivy Nile actually fires up on Kaylee Ray after a reverse suplex, and then follows that up with like this head scissor move where she like sends her flying on the canvas. It was absolutely like crazy. I didn't even know that she could do all this, especially like her size. I guess she's smaller, but at the same time, she's really built. So to see her really like with all this like extra athleticism over somebody as experienced as Kaylee Ray was really telling. But Kaylee Ray actually started, you know, gaining momentum and, you know, getting back into the fight. And as soon as she did, Mandy Rose comes in and distracts her just enough for Ivy Nile to get the pin. And as soon as she got her hand raised, Mandy Rose comes flying into the ring, beating the crap out of her. And then Toxic Attraction comes into, and they just start pouring it on her. Luckily, Persia Parada and Indy Hartwell come in to save her. And so now there's this big brawl happening inside the ring. They finally throw out Toxic Attraction and Mandy, and there's just this big stare down happening. So we have a 6-man tag team to look forward to next week with these guys. That's going to be a really good match to watch because you could just see all that animosity and all that anger that all 6 of them have towards each other. So that's going to be a really, really good match. We're looking forward to it. Now, Sarray, not really well known, didn't have a good season last year, let's be honest. So she left, went back to Japan, has really refocused. She had like this kind of cheesy commercial where she talks about, finding her grandmother's necklace. I don't think that was her necklace, like being honest. But it was a really empowering story for her. So hope like she seems really confident in her abilities to really bring it this year. So we'll see what she can get done. She sounds like she's confident, and that's the main thing that you need to be successful in this business is confident. So we're gonna see what she can bring. Hopefully it's more than she did last year and she can at least be a contender. Like, come on, you can't get much worse. Next you have Legado del Fantasma versus Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. So, Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde actually were overlooking their opponents already. Like Malik Blade and Idris Enofe have been like underestimated since like 2 weeks ago. They've been talked about like they're a non-factor, and they actually talked to MSK already planning on facing them, telling them how they're going to beat them and already move on. Like, this is nothing to them. MSK tried to warn them, like, they're real. You don't want to do that. And, man, they definitely found out because Malik Blade and Idris Enofe were just tearing through them. It was so bad that Escobar Santos was watching outside of the ring, of course, and he had to step in. He just had to interfere. But luckily, Bron Brekker was right there to knock him out and carry him like a child throwing a tantrum out of the ring. It was hilarious to watch. So now they had no help. Thank God this match could continue because Malik Blade then pinned Raul Mendoza for the win. But I am such a fan of these guys, man. I want them to win it because they're so overlooked that nobody really expects them to be as formidable as they are. It's crazy because when you watch them, their speed, their agility, their chemistry, like it's amazing what they're able to do together. So like as a tag team group, these guys are like ridiculous. Like you got to bring your A game in order to face them for sure. So, everybody in the Dusty Rhodes Classic better watch out because they're going to make a name for themselves. And maybe even after that, maybe make a shot at the NXT tag team title. That'll be something to look forward to too. Next, we had that match between Dakota Kai and Yulisa Leon. Just when they were backstage, Yulisa Leon really just wanted to shut her up. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of misses, and them just like it was a real like kind of brawl. It didn't really look that technical, but Dakota Kai really showed out and showed like what she could bring to the table. She really didn't have that good of a year. Ever since her and Raquel split, it hasn't been that good for her. She's been on a losing streak, but she finally snapped it. She hit Yulisa Leon with a devastating boot to the face, like right in the corner. It was crazy to watch, but it put her out and she was able to pin her for the win, her very first win of the year. Maybe it'll get her kickstarted into, a good season. She then got really upset though at Leon's partner for like trying to console her, as a tag team partner would do, as a friend would. And since, Kai hasn't really gotten that, she went after her and started beating her up too. So there's a whole lot of anger still that Dakota Kai has to work out. So hopefully we actually can see this build up to her fighting her old friend and partner Raquel. That would be a really good match because at least then she would get some kind of like peace of mind that it's done, you know, instead of her like feeling all these emotions and not being able to get them out to where she needs to. Let her fight who she needs to fight, man, so that she stops bumming everybody out. Every other tag team doesn't need to be involved just because she's mad. Lastly, oh no, not lastly, one more thing before the main event. We had Cora Jade trying to convince Raquel, funny enough, to join her as a tag team group to join the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Now that would be actually really crazy if she was able to pull that off. But Raquel still a little salty about, you know, their triple threat match that she didn't get the win. You know, she was trying to get that women's title. Didn't happen. She really does blame Cora Jade. So, you know, she's like, back up off me. I don't want anything to do with you. Stay out my way. But Cora Jade's not deterred. She thinks that she can change her mind. So we'll see what happens. I don't think that she'll be able to do it, but you know, Jade is tenacious enough. You know, she might annoy her just enough, kind of like Riddle did with Randy Orton, and they might just make a really good dominant tag team. That would be interesting to see. But lastly, we had Roderick Strong go against Walter in this main event. Man, Roderick Strong tried everything in this match. If I'm being completely honest, like it was an A1 effort by Roderick Strong, but there was nothing that really he could do. I mean, Walter was just, and look at him. He's way bigger. He's way more technical. You know, he's just a dominant figure in that ring. And like, there was really nothing that Roderick Strong could do to him. I mean, the most that you can say is that Roderick Strong was really not afraid of him, you know, and that's rare. He told him straight to his face, you know, everybody in NXT is afraid of you but me. And, you know, he really proved that. But unfortunately, you know, that doesn't do anything when it comes to actually fighting him. And I'm pretty sure after what he endured, there's probably some fear now, especially after Walter, like, picked him up and body slammed him to the grave, like, really just dismantled him with this ridiculous slam and pinned him, of course, after something like that. It was absolutely insane to watch that. So, of course, Walter gets the victory. And then we hear something about him changing his name. Like, I didn't hear it the first time, but, you know, I got it pointed out to me. You know, credit to Lady J. Definitely check out the Kick Ass and Coffee, because she actually heard him say, like, the name of some Nazi U-boat general or something like that. Like, what's that about, man? How do you like name yourself that? Like, it's 2022, bro. Like, nobody is crediting the Nazis. Like, you're gonna lose a whole lot of fans. I'm sure he's already lost a ton of fans. So this will be one hell of a heel turn, that's for sure. So we're definitely watching out for that, because yeah, that name's not gonna go Walter. Just stick with Walter, buddy. So here on Take It to the Ring, you know, we like to rate the events on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 stars being fight forever, 4 stars being this is awesome, 3 stars being you still got it, 2 stars being what, and 1 star boring. Like, you know, just watch us. We'll make it more entertaining. But what I would give this event, I mean, this event was great. You know, I'm not taking away from that at all. It was a really entertaining event to watch. But I still feel really comfortable giving it a solid 3-star effort, just because, I mean, the main problem, I would say, was the amount of interferences. I mean, the interferences were the name of the game in this event. Almost every single event had a disruption in some way, shape, or form. And, you know, that could be a good thing every now and then, but for every match to get it, you know, as a fan, you get kind of like, okay, because, you know, you're not letting the two people that you want to see fight actually fight. You know, you want to see who actually gets the win and who's actually better. That doesn't leave a question mark, you know, and every single one did. So hopefully, you know, there's a little less disruptions, especially from people who we don't even know, like the whole Grayson Waller and whoever that guy is, like tagging up against Dexter Lumis. Like, all that stuff could be like pushed to the side. And Duke Hudson, that was unnecessary. Especially, we were excited to see Dante come back, and especially like they put on some really high flying moves in the beginning. It looked like the start of a really good match. So you know, all those aside, I feel like there was a lot of potential for it to be a better showing, but it was still really, really good. And I'm definitely looking forward to next week. We have a bunch of great matches to look forward to, and you know, we got some more people to look forward to for the Dusty Rhodes Classic as well. But be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe and follow. Take it to the ring. This has been another great episode. Be sure to leave a comment and talk about your favorite parts as well to this event and what you can't wait to look forward to. But until next time, guys, this is Tijon. That's all I got. Y'all have a good one.